Hello and thank you for joining the midweek edition of Journalist Hangout. I'm Ayodele Ozubakun. Today on the program, Governor Abiola Ajimobi responds to mockers, says he has no regrets losing senatorial election as he urges Oyo elected lawmakers to back Gbajabiamila for the House of Representatives Speaker. And later on the show, Nigeria Football Federation honors 1994 set of Super Eagles. I'll be hanging out with Babajide Kolade Otitoju and Gani Kayode Balokun GKB. So if you are ready, let the hangout start now. Now, accepting the fact that you win some and lose some in politics will make the political game quite interesting. Oyo State Governor Abiola Ajimobi has certainly witnessed a mix of triumph and defeat in his political career. But Governor Ajimobi, who lost his bid for his senatorial seat in February, has decided to move on, responding to those who mock him over the defeat. The governor said he has no regrets losing the election. Meanwhile, in the spirit of a true party man, he urged 9 elected members of the House of Representatives on the platforms of APC from the states to back the party's choice of Femi Gbajabiamila for the position of the Speaker in the Ninth Assembly. Gentlemen, Babajide, Abiola Ajimobi actually, when he lost, a lot of people attributed, when Mr. Adelabu, the candidate of the All Progressive Congress, lost his bid to become the governor of Oyo State to Seyi Makinde, a lot of people attributed his defeat to the high-handedness and the seeming lackadaisical performance or low performance of Governor Abiola Ajimobi. And what he's saying, 2 weeks before that time, he lost his bid to go back to the Senate. He was formerly a senator. He lost his bid to return to the Senate, and his would-be successor actually lost to Seyi Makinde.
A low performance as in what?
A lot of people will say, just because that video constituted authority, a lot of people will say he's aloof, he's arrogant and everything, but nobody has given us empirical fact about the performance of Abiola Ajimobi.
Well, I can say, as a person who has conscience, and as someone who has been to Oyo State so many times, that since 1999, Abiola Ajimobi has been the best governor in that state. Whatever happened, you see, no one is perfect. No creature of God is perfect. And that's why even Mahatma Gandhi, the great Indian, said no man can attain perfection while in the body. So Ajimobi has done fantastically well as governor of Oyo State. The record is there. But it doesn't mean that because he's done so well, he cannot lose an election or he cannot take a wrong step. So these are two different things.
Yeah, along the line,
he's a record setter.
He might have taken some steps.
Nobody ever earned re-election in the history of that state. Never. Ajimobi earned re-election.
Even the great Bolagi.
How did even the great political strategist, how did he headhunt Ajimobi? Bola Tinubu saw Ajimobi as someone consistent in doing well in elections. And he knew that with his strong grassroots base, if he brought him to his side, he will win the election for the party. He was in the ANPP.
Yes, I remember that time.
And just the way he predicted, it happened. Ajimobi delivered that state to the party. The same way Bola Tinubu told President Buhari that, look, the person who can win Kogi for us is Abubakar Audu. And that's what happened. So Ajimobi has political gravitas. No doubt about it. It's not a question of someone not performing. No. He performed. As governor, he performed. For those of us who frequently travel between Ibadan and Lagos, you know how Ojo used to be now? Refuse on both sides of the road. Complete shame. Suddenly, someone came to office and cleaned up that area. You know that Oyo used to be the headquarters of thuggish violence.
The days of
The Tokyos of this world. Auxiliary.
Yeah,
all of them. They were
those names.
household names.
Before,
Imagine.
they were holding the states
To ransom. Holding the state by the jugular.
Honestly.
And a man came, a certain Ajimobi came, and
You don't even hear of NURTW.
he completely banished that era of thuggery. There were mistakes that he made as a human being. As a politician. No doubt about it, he made some mistakes. But to also show you that he's a very good party man, look at the step he has taken. He has seen where his party is going and he's saying, gentlemen, support the choice of the party.
He has even met with the governor-elects.
He has met with the governor-elect. He's prepared to give him support. Because let's face it, the job of running that state is not easy. Ajimobi paid 13th month. How many people can pay 13th month in Nigeria? How many governors can pay 13th month? It's on record. I paid 13th month. And across those 5 zones in the state, he built dual carriageways across. We can spend hours talking about the changes that Ajimobi brought to bear. I may not totally agree with him as a person, with the way he speaks and all that. Yes, a lot of us have issues with that. But we are not God. God, in creating people, never made them perfect.
Put a comma.
Yeah. So for that, we can forgive him about all those statements. Constitutional authority, don't you know? But at least we look at substance.
Osioba is from Oyo State now. Osiare is from Oyo State.
Yeah.
So at least you are son of the soil.
Yeah.
How has the concerned authority performed?
On all sides. Well, like Gide said, we have to separate Ajimobi, the administrator, from Ajimobi, the politician. Because as administrator, he has done exceedingly well. Those who know the true face of Oyo State before he came in will admit that he has taken the state in terms of infrastructure to another level. For example, all the major towns and cities in Oyo State, the governor ensured that everybody has what the Americans will call Broad Street, what they call a business area. So he ensured that wherever is going to be the center of every major town, from Shaki to Iseyin, from Ogbomoso to Erua, he ensured that there are broad roads that can attract business to those areas. And with that, of course, I don't even have to mention Ibadan. You know the old challenge, what's looking like now. You know what the Oduono Road that Akala started, which he finished. The Olodo Junction, which used to be very rowdy, is now very clean. Even Iwo Road has been cleaned up in such a manner that everybody now moves at pace. So as an administrator, he has done exceedingly well as far as infrastructure is concerned. And that to me is what you always ask of politicians. Pick a particular area of governance and lay emphasis on it and then deliver. The next man will pick out the next one and the next one will pick the next one. So by that we get to Nirvana, maybe another 3-4 electoral circles. But as far as being a governor, an administrator of a state is concerned, Ajimobi has done exceedingly well.
In terms of when you want to look at the way the perception of Oyo State as a state before it took over, and anytime if you're traveling within the southwest, you must pass that Iwo Road down to if you're road down, and at a point in time it was a nightmare. Passing through that axis, sometimes you have to detour to the road and everything. But from what we've seen 8 years after, and even there's an alternate road that just leads to the back of the airport and everything. That road is under construction. Yes, that road is under construction. No, the one that if you are going to, let's say you are going to Elisha on Co. That road is still under construction. So what I'm trying to say is that in the southwest, 2 states were not able to deliver their states during the presidential election.
Yes.
Oyo and Ondo states. What happened? What were those things that you feel that made Governor Ajimobi at the end of the day not to finish strong in terms of politics, getting his politics right?
No, it's those two states. It is APC that defeated APC. It's not even those two states alone. In Adamawa, APC defeated APC. In Bauchi, APC defeated APC. So it's not, and even partly in Sokoto, APC ensured the defeat of APC. So it is the internal politics, the internal bickering within the APC that ensured, and then Ondo, of course, we are all living witnesses to what happened, where the governor of the state, in a matter that naturally should put anyone to shame, decided to go and support the candidate of a rival party. So when you are pulling in different directions, how do you then win an election? Do you know?
House.
And in Ogun State, if you look at what happened in the presidential election, the margin was wide. What did we see in the governorship election?
Extremely close.
Around 19,000 gap or so. The margin was like 19,000. It's still the product of bickering between APC. Because if the same APC came together to vote for Buhari and they delivered Ogun to him with wide margin,
Even in Imo.
how come when it got to governorship election, the party was struggling to win with just 19,000 votes? So it's APC that defeated APC in all of these states. It's APC because in some cases they moved out. Ajimobi, for example, if Ajimobi had considered the senatorial seat to Akanbi, this is not what we'll be saying. Because what is the margin of his loss? It was marginal. Akanbi, APC will have won that Senate seat. And if there was unity within the APC in Oyo, APC will have won the election because they won previous elections. But the disagreements that arose from the primary, right from the world congresses of the party across board. You know, we were shouting about these things. And whenever we talked about it, some APC irredentists will be saying, oh, yeah, they paid him. He's a PDP agent. These are all those rubbish that they say on social media about us for saying the truth. You know, and see how it has hurt the party now. It has hurt the party in different ways. Because if those disagreements had been fixed, we won't be talking about, oh, Ajimobi did not deliver. Ajimobi did not win senatorial seat. Ajimobi did not deliver
A successor.
Yes. But you see, in party politics, the fact that you succeeded as a government is no guarantee that your party would retain power. Remember even what happened during Clinton's time. Clinton promised 10 million jobs. He delivered 13 million jobs. Naturally, Americans should have allowed his deputy to succeed him, because that was a good government, a government that delivered on his promises, a government that placed the state on the right path. But they still went for a different different party, and the GOP came to power to set everybody back. So this is the thing. Ajimobi has done well as governor, has done very well, and long after he has left office, people will remember the good things that he has done. And even the politics, this bad politics that has ensured that APC suffered a huge setback in Oyo, many people will not remember. You go to Kwara, you see the good things that Georgine did as governor in the 70s, George Agbazika-Ini. He remains the best governor in the history of Kwara State. Those achievements are still there. Or even this man, Audu Bako in Kano. Audu Bako in Kano, exceptionally well. Nobody will forget them. The way to give yourself immortality is to work for the people. Yeah, you work for the people, you live in their hearts. You live in their hearts. And they will forget some of the bad things that you've done.
Over time.
Over time. So I congratulate him for the achievements that he has recorded. And if he wants to remain relevant in politics, the mistakes that he has made, he needs to correct them. He should learn from Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Bola Ahmed Tinubu will have gone to Senate in 2007. And what did he do? When he saw that people were against Fashola, people like Ganio Solomon and the rest of them, he saw that they were against Fashola. What did he do? He considered his own Senate
as a trade-off.
Yes, he gave it to Ghost. Ghost was not expecting it. He took Ghost before Baba Konde, and his own form that he had filled. Bola Tinubu tore his form and said Baba Konde should give Ghost another form to fill. That's sacrifice from a leader. Sacrifice is necessary to continue to succeed as a political leader.
It's not always about you.
Because there's this, when you talk about Oyo State, when you talk about the failure of APC, and there's this tendency to always come for Ajimobi, that he was this, he was that. And, so after this time, do you see him going quiet? Is that the end in politics?
No, never say never in politics. It's a long, 24 hours is a long time in politics. People tend to forget that APC won 2 senatorial seats, a majority of the House of Reps. It's because basically in politics, perception is reality. The people that came into office after Ajimobi were able to garner the kind of support they had because it was obvious that the governor was demystified. If he had gotten away with the senatorial seats, APC would not have lost Oyo State.
Yes.
It's cause and effect. Because those who are now, they were now emboldened.
There's momentum in politics.
That's okay, fine. If the governor could lose, then the party could lose. And demoralize a lot of party members who just assume that the party will lose. But going forward, the governor has all the opportunities in the world to redefine his legacy. Nothing is cast in stone. Like I said, the State has been extremely lucky, despite certain problems with governance. Starting from 1999, you've had governors who have tried very hard to work for the state. And you can point at things that they are doing. That's why I said that the new man coming in, Seyi Makinde, was standing on the shoulders of giants, and he must deliver. Like I said earlier, Governor Ajimobi focused on infrastructure. And I know for a fact that Seyi Makinde is trying to focus on eradicating poverty by simply using the templates that they have as a state, agriculture, to work. Oyo State is roughly the equivalent of the entire Southeast. So for you to know the size.
Really?
Yeah, equivalent. Roughly 1-2 kilometers, 1,000 kilometers away. Roughly the size of the current Southeast, when you remove Delta and rivers. So you are talking about the man taking charge of such a large expanse of land. Very large expanse that covers that big area. And then to promote. So Seyi Makinde is coming at a time when the man is taking power from, has laid the foundation in certain areas. Now for him to come in and lay his own, create his own legacy using agriculture basically to fight poverty.
In this same state, we've had the likes of Lam Adesina, we've had the likes of Adewolu Ladoja, Alao Akala, and Ajimobi now spent 8 years, which has not happened since 1999. In that look, and when you want to assess those governors shoulder to shoulder, Lam was one of those great fathers in Afenifere and the Nadeko guys, and he spent his 4 years. He was defeated after 4 years. If they win, he didn't even win a re-election to office. The embattled Ladoja who came to office. Momentum in 2003. Yes. So what were those factors in 2015 that earned him a kind of re-election, that he had to break the jinx?
You know, as I always say in Oyo, you have Ibadan. Ibadan has 11 local governments. You have Okeogun. Okeogun has 10 local governments. You have Ogbomoso, 5 local governments. What Ajimobi simply did, Ajimobi lost Ibadan.
Really?
He lost
Really?
Ibadan to...
In that 2011?
Yes.
Abi 2015?
He lost Ibadan to Accord Party.
That's the Ladoja.
Yes. Ladoja won 7
Wow.
out of the 11 local governments. Ajimobi took the rest. But Ajimobi came here and won big in Okeogun. Won big in Ogbomoso. So, Ibarapa, Oyo, he got
Split.
some votes here and there. Once you are able to do well in Okeogun and Ogbomoso, you are already coasting home to victory.
I thought Ibadan is the main deal.
No, it's not.
It
is, but it's not enough.
Because
It's not enough.
I tell he did
No.
the offset was from Ibadan.
No, it's not enough. Seyi Makinde won the whole of Ibadan.
And that's monumental.
All the 11 local governments.
Damn.
He won all the 11 local governments. In Okeogun, he lost only 1. Say you get. It's only 1 in Okeogun. Then it came to Alawa Kala's territory.
Ogbomoso.
Alawa Kala is extremely difficult to defeat Alawa Kala in that place, but he won 1 local government there. He then went to Oyo land, where we thought that APC, would do very well. He then went to Oyo land and dominated the local governments. He dominated the local governments in Oyo land. So he won. I think he lost only 3 or 4 local governments in all.
So he had the spread.
Of all the 33 out of the 33 local governments, I think he won. He won 27 or so. He lost only 4. So his victory was not concentrated in Ibadan. He dominated Ibadan, won all the local governments, went to Okeogun, lost 9 out of 10. So that's the stuff of what do you call a landslide? Because by the time he got to Oyo, he dominated the whole of Oyo again. So what's left?
What should Abiola Ajimobi look forward to? Is 70 something?
69.
He's going to be 70 this year.
He's going to be 70 this year, and is that his retirement?
No, I don't think so. Politicians do not retire.
Okay.
They go into hiatus, and they will not come out swinging. I don't think we've heard
He still has a role to play at the federal level.
I have it because don't forget, he was the youngest CEO of a multinational oil company. So people came to forget that he came from the private sector. And some of the things they blame him for are products of his environment, where he gives the order and expect people to know what they were doing. He tend to forget that politics is different. You cannot give orders. You have to have a consensus. Talk to them, lead them by example. Not simply assume that they know what they are doing. I'm sure Abiola Ajimobi has learned his lesson. And,
but sometimes, too, our people are difficult.
No, that's the point I'm making. He came from a background where things work. At National Oil, he knows that Mr. A knows what he's doing, and Mr. B knows exactly what to do. But you are talking to politics where 2 + 2 is not always 4. And in that wise, that's where the
somebody just corrected me. I hope that person is accurate. He said Seyi Makinde won 28.
Okay.
And APC won 5.
Yeah.
So we were, I
99%
wasn't sure.
correct.
We were 99% correct.
28
Thank you, Abdul Fattah.
So what we are looking forward to in Oyo State now, is, like you said, it's a pan-state mandate that must deliver.
No.
You remember, there is no way the new incoming governor can say that an area is against me. He has the mandate.
He dominated everywhere.
Across the board.
And
that to me is what
Seyi
and his team, Seyi Makinde and his team needs to focus on. Things that will make the state follow him in the direction that he wants to lead us.
What more for Abiola?
Yeah, Abiola Ajimobi still has a role to play at the national level. He's a father. He's a father.
A grandfather.
He's a grandfather biologically.
Okay.
But in Nigerian politics, he has reached the level of a father, you know, and people will need his wisdom at this stage to help them grow too in politics. And I believe that even at the national level, it could still be useful, depending on what the president thinks. The decision is for the president. The president thinks that, oh, I need this
a man
person,
of this stature.
a man of this stature around me. He can find him a job to do, a job that will still make him relevant in the scheme of things. So he still has something to offer his country.
Okay, I'll be signing Osiare out. GKB, thank you so much. We are going to a specialized field now. And still to come, 25 years after Nigeria Football Federation honors 1994 set of Super Eagles, Musbah Razak will be joining us. Stay with us. Please don't go away. It's not just politics alone we talk on Journalist Hangout. The beauty of it is that, you know, we can go anywhere. Now, talking sport now. Exactly 25 years ago, 10th of April, 1994. It's so hard to believe that it's 25 years already. To be precise, the Nigerian soccer team, that's the Super Eagles, took the world by storm by winning the African Cup of Nations tournament in Tunisia and reaching the second round of the World Cup in the United States of America. That moment is regarded as the golden era of football in the country, and the team tagged the best that ever emerged on the African soccer scene. The star-studded side made of great talents like the late Rashidi Yekini, late Okechukwu, Stephen Keshi, and Austin JJ Okocha, Emmanuel Amunike, and many more, was coached by that enigmatic Dutch-Garian, that's Clemens Westerhoff. Recently, the Nigerian Football Federation, NFF, honored the evergreen team where a member, Sunday Olise, relived some of the magic moments of that era. Let's hear Sunday Olise.
And the first time that we are getting together for the past 25 years. 25 years ago, the 10th of April, 1994, we shocked the world in style when we won the African Nations Cup. As at that time, we didn't know what we were doing. As you see us all here, we are just one big family. We hardly agree on anything then. But as you see these guys here, the moment we put on the jersey, I remember Uche Okechukwu saying, JJ, leave him. As he kick you, you go come here. If you look at the way the football is being played today, fullbacks are asked to attack. We don't have two number 9s anymore. We now have a 9.5. We're talking about this started in 2008. As at 1994, Daniel Amokachi was not a number 9. He was not a number 10. He was already playing 9.5. So he was ahead of his time. As at 1994, we had an overlapping left back. Sometimes we used to beg him, Ben, abeg, stay, I don't tire. But he will still go, and we will beat Ivory Coast. As at the time, all the midfielders used to just carry the ball. One small boy from Delta, all he did was fight for the ball, give it to the players to play. And at the time, God blessed us with the best striker this continent has ever seen. I am talking of Baba Rashidi. I will share something that I had between me and him that used to tell me, Shori Sonny, ma down alone. Shut in no for me. For those who don't understand Yoruba, what Rashidi used to say to me was, Sunday, don't listen. Just send the ball in. And this man had the most clinical finishing I have ever seen in my sporting career. And I've been blessed to play with players like Inzaghi, Zidane, and all of them, but none could come close. And then we had one crazy number 10. In as much as I and him have a good relationship today, if I tell you how many times we almost fought on the pitch, JJ, pass now. But I must confess to you guys, if I had a problem and I was crowded by players, give it to JJ, he will find a solution. I am going to tell you what these guys did. 1993, qualified for the African Nations Cup. 1993, qualified for Nigeria's first ever World Cup. 1994, April 10th, won the African Nations Cup. 1995, won the Afro-Asian Cup. 6 of the players from this group was at the Atlanta team that won the Olympics.
The best of the best. But when I was having the kind of pre-editorial meeting with Jide earlier this morning, and he was talking about, we had that era that equally great players. That's 1976. 1978, 1980, and a set of super egos, which culminated to Nigeria's first World Cup title in the home soil, in Nations Cup title in 1980. Christian Chukwu, Shegun Odegbami, mathematical Shegun Odegbami. Okay, now let's just look at this team from that 1996. You know this one you were telling me about, Haruna Ilerika, 1996.
Well,
1976.
1976. Even from 1973, you look at the Nigerian team that won gold at the All Africa Games. Fantastic team. Fantastic team. Fantastic team with Haruna Ilerika leading the line. You know? Igwe, the former ECN player.
Tony
Igwe.
They call him World 2.
You know? So those were the days that people enjoyed watching football. The people, the fans at Onikan will be singing, Haruna dákun jọ̀wọ́, rọra máa tò wọ́n, Igwe ló ní ń bẹ̀ ọ́. You know, because Haruna Ilerika can dribble the entire field.
Yes, he was that gifted.
And he will score. Then remember Yakubu Mambo,
yes,
who scored the first goal at the National Stadium.
Sonny
Yakubu Mambo. So we had great players. In my view, perhaps the best assembled team of Nigerian footballers was the team that didn't go for the Montreal Olympics. That was the team that Father Tiko assembled.
Who do we have in this team?
Kunle Awesu, Shegun Odegbami, Baba Otu Mohammed. Anas. Great players. But we didn't go. Musba, when we were discussing, Musba was saying perhaps if that team had even gone for the Olympics, it could have won it. Because the team was too good.
They were beating all teams in the friendlies, in the friendly matches. You see, Nigerian achievement in football started in 1973 during the All African Games. We beat Guinea. Guinea that time was perhaps the best team in Africa, the great Papa Camaras of this world. Yes. And we beat them. The teams of Haruna Ilerika, Godwin Ashebe, Kenneth Olayombo, Sani Oyarekwa, Yakubu Mambo. These are great footballers. They beat Guinea 2-0. But we started getting achievement in Nations Cup
1980.
in 1976. That was the team that went to Addis Ababa. And the team that discovered a young, small Muda Lawal.
Great Muda.
The great Muda Lawal. That was his first ever outing. Don't forget, Sam Ojebode was there in that team. Aruna Ilerika.
The skipper of ICC
Shooting Stars. The late Kunle Awesu. Let me tell you the history behind that team. When Nigeria was going for the Nations Cup in 1976, there were two major teams in Nigeria, ICC Shooting Stars and Rangers International. And at the time, players from Rangers were invited to the national team, almost about 11. Rangers refused to release their players. That was the time they were saying, no Rangers, no Nigeria.
Yes.
So the coach, Father Tiko, went and started looking for young boys. And people like Aruna Ileri, this guy, Kunle Awesu, Baba Otumame, Godwin Odie. So how they were,
later went to the US.
Odie was playing for National Bank in Lagos. And he was picked. We have Rufus Ejele, who was playing for Bendel Insurance in Benin. These are the boys who Padatiko took to Addis Ababa. Our first match, we met Zaire. Zaire was the defending champion. We beat them 4-2. That was what announced the year to the world. At the end of the day, Kunle Awesu was named the best 11 of that, the best left winger. And Baba Otu Mohammed was named the best right winger. That was how we started. The bulk of that team went to Accra in 1978.
And we won
bronze.
That was when Odegbami, people now began to see Odegbami as the star.
As the star.
You know, there is this argument that comes up. For many people who did not see Odegbami play, they think that, Mutiu Adepoju is the best header of the ball that Nigeria has ever seen. The best header of the ball that Nigeria has ever seen, that has played for the national team, has to be Segun Odegbami. And he demonstrated that at the national team and even at Shooting Stars consistently. Because in the national team, they will play him as outside right. But at Shooting Stars, he will play as the top striker.
Center forward.
So he was that versatile. He could play both positions. You know, he was that gifted. When he played on the right wing, he would hold the ball, and he had that excellent pull-out.
Let's get more contemporary, gentlemen.
So Mutiu Adepoju came later, and they named him headmaster. But Odegbami scored more headed goals.
Than Mutiu.
Headed goals, even with range. You mean when you head the ball from distance and you score with it, Odegbami scored more headed goals from distance than Mutiu Adepoju.
Musbao, how come we've not been able to replicate the set of 1994? When I'm talking about the set of 1994, I'm talking about a Finidi George that was playing for Ajax, that went to Champions League final, that was playing with them. Overmars that time. I'm talking about a Celeste Babayaro that ended up playing for Chelsea.
Yes.
I'm talking about, Rashidi Yekini that was in Victoria Setúbal from Belgium and everything. These guys were playing for top-ranked teams across Europe. Yeah. Right now, Nations Cup is in June. I'm not looking forward to anything for Nigerian national team because I don't know where our guys are in terms of top-flight football.
Wait, thank you, Ayo. You see, when Westerhoff came, those players you mentioned were discovered in Nigeria.
They were playing at home.
They were playing at home. Don't forget...
Rashid, in fact, someone like Amokachi. Amokachi did not play for any of the youth teams.
Yes.
He was playing for Ranchers Bees, having been discovered at a feed in Tudunwada, Kaduna called KKD feed. KKD means Kaduna Kick and Die. That's where he was discovered. And he was a student of government secondary school, Krume Mashi, when he entered the national team. He was a schoolboy. He was in SS2 when he started playing for the Super Eagles.
And that was why he set that record. In 1990, I know just
for Everton.
As the youngest player to play the Nations Cup.
Yes, and he had that.
He was a schoolboy.
Finidi George was discovered playing for Calabar Rovers. In fact, let me tell you one of his stories. If not for Westerhoff, Finidi George would have wasted away in Nigeria. He has this very, very temperamental behavior. Finidi George has once pulled up a knife against a referee.
Yes.
He was banned.
That Niger referee.
Yes. Because he felt the referee was blowing against it. He pulled a knife and Niger. Started running after the referee.
Yes.
He was banned. When West Ham came, saw the talent in him, he pleaded and the ban was lifted.
He became the best.
He became
right winger in the world at the time.
At the time. So West Ham did a lot for Nigerian football. He did it. When he came, he set up that program, watching most football matches. It was
going on.
Like Jide said, it was West Ham insistent that did not allow Amokachi to waste away under 17.
Yes.
He discovered him
you are strong enough to play
for the national team.
And then he used him in the ECOWAS Cup.
That was why he started.
Which we won by default. You know, it was dark in Bauchi, and they said those big guys said they were no longer playing.
So that was how this Abata Nijeku, he set up a program for himself.
Tajuddin Oyekome, small boys.
This guy in Lagos, Wasiu Paye, Friday Elao, Herbert and Ijeku
of
Rangers. He discovered all of them. Moses Paco. He discovered all of them and was doing, when one is aging, he will replace. When one is aging, he will replace. He discovered Uche Okechukwu Gentle Giant in Nigeria, playing for Nwayahu National. That is it.
And when he got to the World Cup, and he discovered that Chidinwanu was better than Keshi. He benched Keshi, the captain of the team, and allowed Chidinwanu. Chidinwanu was playing for Beveren in Belgium. He brought him and made him to play for the national team. Keshi did not like it.
Naturally.
Because Keshi and Chidinwanu were enemies.
They were enemies.
But when West Ham had to take that decision, the big matches, like the first match that we won 3-0
against Bulgaria,
he played him. Even the second round match that we lost, it was Chidinwanu that led the defense. Yes. Because he knew that
against
he
Denmark?
was the better.
Against
Italy.
Italy.
He knew was the better.
Okay, Arrigo Sacchi, Roberto Baggio.
The only match the late Keshi played at the World was against Greece.
And at that time we had qualified.
We have qualified. So
the same thing with
that team was rated 5th in the world.
Yes, Nigeria was rated 5th
in the world. And ever since that time, as at today, I don't know, maybe 40-something or 60-something.
If you listen to the commentary on the day that we were to play, we were going to start playing the match with Italy, the commentator described us as an emerging power in world football. And when we scored that first goal, against Bulgaria, the pace during
the time of Risto Stoichkov.
The pace of that attack, the commentator said, given the way these Nigerians are playing, it is not a surprise that Efane Koku had not been able to get into this team.
Efane
Koku was doing well in England, but he could not make the team.
For Norwich City.
The pace of, you know, that move started from the right wing. The pace of Finidi George, the way he was sprinting, and that 3-0 was the best performance by any African team going to the World Cup for the first time.
Amokachi scored a goal in that team.
Yes, he scored
the second goal.
That's fantastic.
So he got up and
you see, that is his physical.
And then there was that diving header from
Amunike. Yes, that's the third goal.
And they could have even scored more.
And Bulgaria was
they
like...
could not cope with our athleticism.
But Bulgaria
did well in that World Cup.
From qualifying for that World Cup.
Yes, and Platini had to lose his job.
Yes.
Platini was the coach.
He was the coach. That was the hand of...
And Platini had not lost any game. Platini had played so many games until the last two, Israel and Bulgaria.
And he lost the two.
Who was our keeper? Was it Peter Rufai?
Peter Rufai, the same Peter Rufai. So Bulgaria was a power in football when they were coming in. Because they defeated France.
And they still did well in that World Cup.
They still went to they did qualify for the semi-final.
So it wasn't as if they were weak.
They have a good team. It's Stoichkov, Emil Kostadinov, Jordan Lechkov. All these, they were very good, but they met a Nigerian team that was, my God,
Was ready.
very
Very
outstanding,
athletic, very strong
athletic,
physically.
very.
Four of those guys now were
You know,
injected.
Westerhoff was doing something. For those games that we won, Westerhoff did not play Okocha. He used Sia to play Okocha's role.
Role, yes.
He made Sia to play as the playmaker of the team.
Why?
And bench Okocha. His quarrel with Okocha was that Okocha was always holding on to the ball for too long.
That's what Sunday was saying.
You see the team, because the team was built on effective counter-attack. So when you have the ball, he had attackers who were very fast. Amuneke, Amokachi, Rashidi Yekini, Finidi. So once you have the ball, they're already running into space. They're attacking the space. Now you must release that ball. If you don't release the ball, defenders will close in on them and mark them against. That was his quarrel with him. So those two games against Bulgaria, against Argentina, he did not field
Okocha.
I think Siasia scored against Argentina.
Yes. It was even as a result of another counter-attack.
So this team now went to the 1996 Olympics, as in
six of them.
Now were injected into that dream team.
Yes.
And
they made a difference.
Made the difference. Same with
One man killed that team. I was late, Sonny Abacha. Nigeria would have retained
the Nations
Cup in 1996 in South Africa.
If we had attended.
I remember.
Yes.
I remember that
If
time
we
we boycotted that Olympics.
Nigeria
I mean that Nations
That
Cup.
was, they were at the height of their power. And that was the same flair they took to the 1998 World Cup in France. So it was after 1998 World Cup we started.
That's the
decline.
peak.
Yeah.
That's the peak.
Came down.
As at that time, Manuel Munike even went to go and play for Barcelona. He entered the main team of Barcelona.
So we had the right players.
We had the player, and don't forget we have a coach who even know how to play the politics.
Don't forget our Celestin Babayaro.
Yeah,
Celestin Babayaro was a Kaduna boy, just like his brother Emmanuel. They were discovered by a man called Babayaro, because they are originally Igbo boys. Now, when Emmanuel Babayaro was in the camp of the under-17, because Westerhoff took over the under-17 team briefly, and then he brought in Emmanuel Babayaro as keeper of the under-17. Now, Emmanuel Babayaro now, Celestin was visiting his brother in camp. He now told the coach, Fani Amu, he said, my brother can play. So Fani Amu now said they should give him opportunity to play. That was how he saw the talent in him, and Celestin Babayaro became a member of the under-17 team. Under-17 team.
Overlaps.
Yes, now.
In fact, in the first match, he had against Congo, he had the red card.
Guinea-Bissau.
He had the red card. He had the red card. The team nearly wrecked him.
Yes.
So, gentlemen, let's talk about the future now. What do we have now as a national team? I'm not too enthusiastic with what we have on ground now. But what can be done to at least improve, to bring back the lost glory?
Well, we need to develop our football league. Yes, we need to develop this league.
Our local league.
Our local league. We need to develop it, and we need to revive our youth football competitions. We have players who
can produce more talents.
Most of these players we are talking about, I remember when I was in secondary school watching Principal Cup up and down in Lagos. The great footballers we are talking about were discovered playing school football. I can remember people like
Manu
Adebayo Cup, the Youth Fund, all these, you need to revive them.
A lot of those players, Samson Sias, all of them, they play for Youth Fund.
They play for Youth Fund. They pass through that system.
They play for Youth Fund.
Siasia attended Fimbas.
Yes.
Stephen Keshi attended Fimbas. Franklin Howard, Henry Nwosu, they are all from Fimbas, St. Fimbas College.
Africa.
Yes.
And then CMS,
Wakilo Yenuga.
Bariga, we had Wakilo Yenuga.
Olukoni brothers, Paul Okoku. Awar Islam supply Waide Akoni. Raman Alarakpe. So the skill football was thriving then.
Yes.
So we need to revive all this.
You remember this Igbo boy, Chibuzo Ehulebu? I remember watching Kwaspo Haiti They call it Kwasport. That's secondary school sports in Nigeria. The final was played. The final of the football game was played between Imo State and Lagos State. It was Chibuzo Ilegbu that scored.
1980.
Yes, it was Chibuzo Ilegbu that scored the winning goal. Don't forget, even things, the first match of Shooting Stars that I read in the newspaper, because I started reading newspaper as a little boy. I remember Segun Odegbami scoring a goal against Stade of Mali or so, or Cote d'Ivoire. 2-0 before they won the eventually won the Copenhagen Cup.
In
And they marked the
1976.
first Nigerian team to win a
That was in
continental
1976.
championship. Yes.
When they defeated Tonere Kalara of Cameroon.
Cameroon.
The team that boosted the great Roger Miller. They beat
think it
Tonere
was
4-1 in
4-1,
Lagos
4-1.
and lost 1-0 in Yaoundé.
And then Rangers too retained
won
the
the
trophy
cup.
the following year.
When I saw this video, I want appreciate the NFF led by Amadio Pinnick for at least 25 years after assembling
To
these
follow
guys
our brothers, they will put us on a bike.
to bring these guys back.
On bicycle, they will take us to stadium to watch football.
No, it's,
Even athletics in Ilorin that time.
it's
I will
so
go and watch athletics. Athletics too, we had athletics clubs.
Yes.
Can you imagine? Athletics
Even boxing
clubs. We had athletics club. All of that we don't have anymore.
They are old men
And that's
now.
where you develop the talent.
Do they promote boxing in Nigeria now?
Whereas we had Igu belt competition that time. Where they were discovering the talent. Some of the best boxers in the world were from Nigeria. People like David Senande. David Senande is the first Nigerian to win the World Amateur Boxing Championship.
I'm finding it difficult to recognize these guys. Not
All
all of them. You can't
they
recognize
have changed now.
They have changed.
Wouldn't you have changed?
25
It's
years
people like
after.
Dodo Mayana, Peter Rufai.
Peter Rufai.
That
JJ
don't change
Okocha.
much. I saw Peter Rufai in action for the first
that
time.
is
Siasia.
Finidi
Don't look at Finidi George in
It's
there.
not about that one beside Finidi is Ben Iroha.
Ben Iroha.
The
Ben Iroha, number 3.
overlapping Ben Iroha. But we need to say that
Taribo
West was not
was
part
in
of
that team.
that won the Nations
The
Cup.
man
He was not in the team.
beside Finidi is
And he
Musa
did
Adepo.
not go to
Okay,
the...
that's Muti Adepoju behind
that's-
Finidi George.
And Taribo did not also go to the 1994 World Cup.
World Cup.
Okay.
Because he was dropped after the friendly against Sweden that we lost 3-1.
Oh, it's so hard to say goodbye.
That
Musa Razak, I want to thank you. Thank you. It's as if we should have more time for this. The mystery itself.
Anytime we want to discuss
Musa,
football,
please.
we always bring him. He's one of the best in the
do it again. Yes, one of the best.
Not
You
the
can say
best in
that
the
again.
country. I can say that. I confirm that.
And that's it on Journalist Hangout today. Join us tomorrow for another episode of the program. And you can also watch Journalist Hangout on our platforms showing on the screen. We're also on YouTube, youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. Our feedback channel is Journalist Hangouts at tvcnews.tv. I'm Ayodele Uzubaku. See you tomorrow, and God bless Nigeria.